Hey everyone, we are live. Pricebook Wednesdays. Welcome back. Happy to have you back. Still struggling with this platform. Gotta try to find something else. Okay, so today we're going to cover Pricebooks. We're going to walk through, again, a little bit of the service price book inside of Housecall Pro. We will build an estimate or job, do some manual option building, not the estimate templates, and then something that has been very hard to keep a secret. Very, very hard to keep a secret. We are about now ready to start telling people, and it's really cool. We're going to start implementing it with our membership clients. They're going to get kind of the first peek, and a few of our newest onboarding clients. We created a price book simulator. So now you don't have to work on the spreadsheet anymore. This will be available for clients that are on our guided launch and subscriptions. But this is your virtual price book simulator and editor. You can't screw it up. There's nothing wrong you can do. You can play around. You can send edits to us. You can play with your hourly rate, your markup. You can see your material lists. The material list is coming, but you can see material attached to each job. And what it'll do is feed back all of the information that you're inputting in here. We'll feed it back to us. So we'll make the edits for you, and it's really cool. So I'm showing you the plumbing. The way it's broken down is just like your categories and all the services in there. We feel it's easier, one list form, and it's something that can be done on your phone. So you can come into the service and everything is editable. You can submit your request, and we have different items here. So it just kind of walks you right through as you want to go and input stuff. So you can change or ask a question, send us a question, and send it to us. Or if you have a change, you can do your suggested name, why, because we want to know why. We want to know your reasoning just in case. And then we have approved as entered, so we know we can enter it, or you'd like feedback. So we would then contact you and talk about the service. Then when we come in to each service, we have a cost breakdown. So we can see every cost in that service. You can request more parts. You can change the quantity. And if we change the quantity, it'll change in here so you can see that change. You can submit that right to us, approve or feedback. We'll send that. It's really cool. It comes to a log to us. You can change the cost of an item here, which we have little pop-ups. So generally, if we're changing material costs, we don't want to change it to one item because it's attached to many other services. So we have this little pop-up just kind of directing you that if you change this, it could affect other material items, but it allows you to see your costs as you're coming through. That's supposed to return to 1. And everything here is editable, so you can edit the name, again, ask questions, and this will all be submitted to us, and then we would enter it or contact you as needed. And you can request something else. And then one of the coolest items is lock. So this is a new feature to Pricebook Ninjas as well. All around, it not only will save us, but we've had an issue with this where we have a service price for a client. We do an update and that price gets changed because of the parameters that we've entered. So this is something that is a fail-safe for us, but then a really cool feature for our clients. So then we can lock services. You can come on here, decide what you want to lock. If you're running a promotional item that you want to keep a price, we always want the dispatch fees, the diagnostic fees to stay the same price. We don't want those to change. And things, I know a funny one, plumbers and the cost of to snake a drain. They know exactly what the cost for a kitchen drain, for a sewer. So that's an item that we would want to lock to keep the same until that price needs to change. And we don't want any parameters, whether, again, unless agreed upon, hourly rate, just because that number is firm in your mind. And what you can do is while you're in here, so you have your total price, you can play with the simulator and change your hourly rate. You can drag it around. So as you're changing your hourly rate, it'll change your price. You can enter it in here. Let's just do 400, and that'll change throughout. You can change your markup. We're having a little trouble pulling the data. Like this spreadsheet is in our low markup. We want this to identify so as you work through. So that's one little hang up we're having. But again, everything is editable, like with this markup rate. If these don't work for you, you can then request something custom, right? And you could toss in a note, request that you'd like feedback, and then we would email you or contact you and talk about your request. And then submit a new service, category, subcategory, and it knows, kind of where to go. Labor time, service names. This is just for you to put in like a labor time and your parts, not so much that you have to. We have these numbers, but we love knowing the information of what you guys are inputting. We have our national average pricing, but it's, there's no unified way. So what we're trying to do is collect different numbers from places to help with our labor time from our actual users. So this was really cool. And we're just finishing up beta. We had a few people on it. They loved it. I love this. So we're now releasing this, letting our subscription clients know, because for the biggest item here is submit a service. So, and then, as we have to get the material up, just like any software, we have to have versions, right? So the biggest one is the price book. But the cool thing is that we can get the cost breakdowns. I'm really, really, really happy about this. To me, this was, again, just a secret I had to keep for a little while. And I'm not good at keeping secrets. And I just can't wait to roll this out, just because it is just a complete simulator and you just can't mess anything up. And this just allows you, so whether you come through your guided launch, you would still have your meetings. We would still be customizing your book, putting you through the same onboarding process. We just have access to this now for you to view, make some micro edits, because one of the communication issues that we would have is name changing. Our clients would have to go through, scan. You still have to go through and scan, but they would have to take a note, email it to us, or tell us in the meeting. Now you can just spend a little bit of time when you have some time, run through some services or a category, check them all out. And we are looking to improve it, in more features. It's coming. It's coming. But I'm very, very happy about this. And, for whoever's watching, if you're a current client, we're going to be reaching out to you. If you're on a subscription, we're going to be reaching out to you. And if you're not a client and you'd like to check this out, or you're a DIY and you'd like to check this out, we are trying to figure out how this could work with the DIY, because it does send all of the requests back. We get a log, and that log comes right to us. So we don't know for the DIY, if we have the same setup where they get the log. So it could be like they run through the whole program, check through, do their things. Again, it doesn't go live to your Housecall Pro. Then you come back and you review your logs and decide if this is something you want to use or not. We just don't know how we'd roll it out. Because there's much love for the DIY. So very cool. Again, if you're a client, we're going to be reaching out. If you're not a client and you'd like to look into this, reach out for sure. Okay, Housecall Pro. Let's build some invoices and estimates. We'll do plumbing, and we're going to run through. Let's do water heaters. I think that would be a fun one. We'll do water heaters quickly, and then we'll try to build something for HVAC. We could build for HVAC the options between changing like a spark igniter, a three-part system refresh, and a 5-part system refresh. That might be a good one. Electrical is a tough one. It racks my brain, and I didn't spend much time thinking about it, but electrical, we can put together putting in a wiring service, but let's start with plumbing. And I clicked into the price book like always. Beautiful plumbing price book, but we need to go to our estimates. Let's go to test. I built a few yesterday. Let's see, I did water heater options. I pulled these from our templates. Let's start a new one. How many test clients do you have in your Housecall Pro customer list? And how many estimates or jobs do you have in there? And I know people are using them to build an estimate. Like if you get a phone call and you're trying to put something together, you'll build it in your test customer. But I feel like this just grows and grows. We have to go through and clean it up a little bit. Same with getting this pricing form out of here. This was Ashley's cleaning account until Pricebook Ninjas took it over. So currently right now, everybody's Housecall Pro portal is starting to look a little different. I'm seeing 3 versions. So your estimates page might look a little different than this. It may not look like this here. It may be empty up here with your buttons and empty in a rectangular box down here. If you're into the new Housecall Pro, the very new Housecall Pro update, that I can't tell you what this looks like, but it probably is different. I know everything else is different there. Between your menu is no longer up here. Your menu is on the left-hand side, your navigation bar, and your profile is on the bottom left, no longer on the top right. Okay, so we're in a blank estimate, and we're going to build a service for Mrs. Smith. And now if you don't have templates already set up, pre-built, you cannot select from templates. So for us, like in this case, we have our water heaters built out. We have some boiler stuff built out. We would select from templates so we can easy add. We covered this last week in the live. You can check back on our profile. You'll see last week's live. It's on YouTube. I showed how we can build templates, and especially from the starter book, giving the options. So we're going to build this manually. So you can come in to add service, but you have to search the name. I'm not really good with search bars. I made the price books. I know every name by heart, and I'm still not a good search person. So we can search 40-gallon, right? That comes up. The search is pretty good, so you can type in water heater. I just don't like the list form. See? Okay, it's not. There it goes. Oh. I don't like the list form. That's hard for me, and it pulls up all sorts of stuff, right? We have a water heater tank repair with a drain valve before we want a water heater, and that's what we're looking for. So when you're searching their search, you do have to be a little specific, or you're working in the drop down here. You have to scroll to find their stuff. I am a click-through picture person, hands down. So we are inside of the price book to pull services, water heaters. Let's do a gas 50-gallon. And we have our 50-gallon gas water heater, and we're going to add that service. This is just going to be our basic basic installation or replacement with a 6-year warranty, nothing special. And we're going to close this out. And nope. Did I not save that? Oh, I have 2 services. So we have our water heater here listed, and we can rename this option. So we'll do base water heater. Click add option. Now on the phones, at least on the mobile app, at least on my mobile app, the mobile technician side looks relatively similar to this, where you would add your options up top. So we need to add new option. This is going to be your second option, and however you want to add it, right? So instead of good, better, best, base, standard, right? Let's do standard. Standard's a good one. Standard water heater. And this would come with like the 10-year warranty. Oh my God, what is happening? We're having a pretty big rainstorm out right now. Pretty big rainstorm happening at the moment. And my Housecall is not working. So what we want to do is come back. We want to add the same 50-gallon water heater. We're going to add that 50-gallon. Now we stay within the price book. Don't exit out of here. You can, but if you back out, you come back, head to your water heater add-ons. And we're going to go and put in our 10-year manufacturer's warranty. And we have that second service added. Exit out, and we have these 2 items built out. Now at this point, you have 2 items built out, and you can present to the customer, right, if wanted. One big thing to remember is when you're manually building out your estimates and you present, there is no picture, okay? There is no picture. Pictures only show in presentation mode if the pictures are inside of the estimate templates. That is very important. And a lot of the times it's hard for me to explain. Pictures inside of the service price book, and this isn't us, this is Housecall Pro. Pictures inside of the service price book only attach to the invoice and estimate. And it's viewable to the customer invoice and estimate. If you want pictures to show on presentation mode, you have to either add them on site or they have to be inside of the estimate templates, pre-populated, made, and that's how you run through. Again, we covered that last week in last week's meeting live. If you go back in our profile, sorry, we post every day, so there's little snippets, but a week ago you'll find the lives. YouTube, the videos are organized a little bit better, I believe, and it's just how YouTube organizes. So if you go to YouTube and you click the live links, let's go see actually. Let's do some testing. And while I'm loading in there, so then let's head back to this estimate so we can finish building out our top option. And we're going to add an option, and this is going to be our premium. I can't spell premium. I after, what's the saying? No I after E before after C. Is there an I after U or an I before U? Oh, premium, let's rename. That just looks wrong. My spell check is not working today. It's working on one profile, but apparently not this one. So we've added our 3 good, better, best, right, water heaters, and now we have to add our services to this book or to this estimate, and that's going to be back to the 50-gallon. And this does suck a little bit when you're in the field. I remember, I mean, just being down in a crawl space, trying to create the options, and you know, you're looking around, you're creating your options, and then you come back out and you say, hey, you know, I checked everything out. I took pictures. I'm going to go work on the estimates a little bit, and you just ask for a few minutes. Don't go out to your truck. Do not go out to your truck. Again, do not go out to your truck. The moment you leave that house, it's over. So what we're going to do is, with this, we do have a premium. Oh, it is spelled different, and I spelled it way wrong. Or is this one wrong? So we have this already built out, and this could be our 10-year with the flood stop, or you could build your own. There's all sorts of stuff that you can build, right? Flood stop device, the 10-year, you could add a powered anode rod. So it's really cool where you could go through and build your options, but we're going to put the 10-year. I got it. It's not quite clear, right? It's not the clearest as you're going through that. And I don't build many estimates or jobs invoices on the phone. I really just go to the phone to test. We now have our estimates, right? We have all three built out, our base, standard, premium. Yeah, I spelled premium way wrong. Way wrong. Don't worry, this price book has 2 backup checks of spell check. So we have our 3 options built out, and now you can present to the customer. And again, if this is, you do not have options built out in your estimate templates, and we want to present these options to your customer. Now, when you're presenting in person, I like the side to side. With Housecall Pro, you cannot have too many items. It can only view 3 at a time. So you have to make sure as you're going through, right? So if you have 5, you need to scroll through. But I really like side to side. When you line it up next to each other, it doesn't beat it. When you email, though, I highly recommend the stack layout, because we generally know to scroll down, not left to right. That's not a thing, right? So if we want to scroll down, and if you're emailing this to the customer, you want it to scroll down. And again, remember, pictures don't load in this portion of it. And you could present this to the customer stacked, however you want it. And then now, if you were to show this, let's see, where is it? Is it not in this point? There is a place where you show details. We must not have the images turned on here. This is another setting. Lots of settings in Housecall Pro. And they need to be able to be gone to, right? So we have our services. We don't have the images on. We're going to change that. So the image does populate in one place, but it's on the service line item. You would have to add your own here, right? However, funny that I just have a water heater there right now. Electric one, but, right? And then this presents. You can present this to the client. What we have done in the past is sent our clients the images to keep on their phone, not these ones, just like certain ones, because we've built out templates and they wanted them to be editable base. And then as they got on there, they would build out their templates. And so we just generated a few images for them so then they could load those up with what they needed. There weren't many options. It was just the differences between them. And it's kind of interesting. It's when you kind of get into that, when you're building out your templates, you can build out a few, or when you get into it, you can build out a lot. And it happens to us. We were just trying to build something out, and we quickly get into like 60 services, and it's like, how do we lower that, right? But that's just the base. That's just a base. If we're going on multiple, like for HVAC, if you're doing gas, just the sources, right? The fuel source, whether electric, gas, dual fuel, heat pump, just those bases. I lost my train of thought. Just those bases of those ones create a lot of templates. But then when we start building on top of it, it then magnifies to become pretty quick, a lot. Things like boilers. Boilers, you want to keep those mega basic because of the zones. there's no easy way to add more in, right? Unless you're adding services after the fact. But yeah, it's just all these little funky, odd workarounds, and we're really working on trying to document things. Document some stuff on some of the weird little Housecall Pro things. Here's a very interesting one. Very interesting. We have tested to a point, but we need to go into more testing. Let's say you are building estimate templates, or you have estimate templates built out already, and you have your services attached to it. So we have our service down here attached to it. These items are attached. If you do a price update through your service price book, we haven't tested material fully yet. And this one, it kind of bothers me. If material doesn't do this, it's kind of an issue. We're finding on our side, and we have our one-way import system, so we're overwriting the existing data. This should be picking up. If that number changes, this needs to automatically change. But what we learned is that it does not change. And we have to come in, click this, come here, click the same service with the new price. Let's just go. All right, let's do this. Let's save this, duplicate this screen. So we have two, so we're not clicking around. Services, setting, or search, water heater. We're going to up this by 2 hours. So our total price changed from $3,100 to $3,800. We're going to save this. Head back here. Let's do a refresh to see. What the hell? It auto changed. Well, it's a good thing we tested it. We've had to twice now in the last 2 weeks had to go and physically change all those because the pricing didn't change. But that's why you test, right? That's why you test. And look at that. We ran one test now. We've been testing all day, not Housecall Pro on our portal. Let's change this back to 3, so our price book is correctamundo. Okay, so my test failed. And today we showed you how to build a plumbing water heater estimate, and we showed you our very cool price book simulator. So I really hope, again, if you're a current membership client, we're going to be reaching out to you shortly here to give you your link to get in with some instructions. And if you're not an existing client and you'd like to come check this out and see what we have to offer, our Zoom link is a few places, definitely on our website. Down at the bottom, you can book an appointment right there on our calendar. So very cool. And we will see you next Wednesday. Same time, same day. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.